Okay, hey, it's Donna Rudowitz, and welcome to today's discussion on the fourth agreement, which is always do your best. So what does Don Miguel Ruiz and what does Donna Rudowitz define as always doing your best? And that is defined as under any circumstance, always do your best, no more and no less. And before I was having a discussion on my 16-year-old daughter who is a 90 average student, and she recently got some grades that were in the 70s and 80s, and it's something that I was surprised to see because she's a 90 average student. So after having conversations with her, what we discovered was that she took a part-time job that was taking a lot of her time from school. She was kind of slacking. She was being a little lazy as well. She wasn't doing her best. So if she was a 70 student and she got a 70 grade, I would put that on the refrigerator and I would be proud of it. Same thing, 80 student and she got an 80 grade, it would go on the refrigerator. I would be proud of it. 90, same thing. But when she was operating in something that was less than her ability, the discussion came up, and what we discovered is she wasn't always doing her best. She was kind of doing it half-assed. And it goes to say the same thing with us, is that we are dynamic beings. We are not static beings. So everything is alive. We are alive. The environment around us is alive. The food we eat is alive, and it is changing all of the time, right? If we're looking to right now in the fall, we're getting ready for the harvest time to reap all of those benefits of the year. The leaves are falling, signifying letting go. So everything is changing, and we are constantly changing, constantly moving in a dynamic pace, and we're not staying in the same pace. And every day means our moods could change. There are going to be some days where we're going to feel our mood is going to define us of having a great day. And there's going to be other days where our mood may define us as having not such a great day. And you guys know my principle or my rule based on life, which is the 50-50 rule. That 50% of the time we're going to have an amazing life, and there'll be a scale. There'll be some days that will be better than others. It's the same thing on the other side. 50% of the time we're going to have challenges that we face, and some of the challenges are going to be easier and some of the challenges are going to be more challenging. So if we allow our mood and we allow the circumstance to define how we behave and how we show up in life, we're going to allow outside circumstances to control. And what we'll end up doing is some days we'll do our best and some days we won't. And some days we'll show up half-assed and some days we'll show up full to go. But if you make the commitment and the decision to yourself that no matter what day it is, no matter how you're waking up, no matter the circumstances that are on your plate, that regardless of what it is you're feeling, you are going to keep doing your best. And you're going to leave out the judge. You're going to show up and you're going to show out and you're going to do the work, right? You're going to do you the best you can do. No judge. So what that means, like yesterday, I have a little bit of a cold. So normally I'm up at 4:44 in the morning. That is the time that I wake up because that's the closest part of me to be with the divine and connect. That's when I do my meditations. And normally I go to the gym after, I'll take Casey for a walk, and I have, a pretty active and I'm pretty much by 3-4 o'clock is when I start slowing down. But yesterday was a little bit more of a difficult day for me. My body, my mind was wanting to do the things, but my body wasn't cooperating. That it wasn't operating the way that it could because it was tired, it was feeling lethargic, and it was feeling achy. So what I knew what I had to complete yesterday, and I showed up and I did my best. If I had 10 things on my list and I knew 5 out of those 10 things absolutely had to be done yesterday, and I knew that I needed to show up and be my best that day in doing those 5 things. And while I wanted those other 5 things to be completed, I just knew that I needed to push them to today's calendar. So I showed up and I did my best. And that's what I'm saying to you, is that you are going to have days where you're not going to be operating in your best. And you're not going to be able to kind of work it past. And the worst thing that we could do is try to force and try to overdo, because then what ends up happening is we end up not happy. We end up, it's work, and we don't end up wanting to do it. So let me share with you a parable. So there's a master and there's a student, and a student asks the master, "Hey master, if I meditate for 4 hours a day, how long do you think it would take me to transcend, to grow into this greatest version of myself? And the master replies, well, if you meditate 4 hours a day, it will likely take you about 10 years to transcend into the state of being that you want. So then the student asks the master, hey, master, what happens if I meditate 8 hours per day? And the master replies, well, if you meditate 8 hours per day, it's likely going to take you 20 years to transcend. So the student, perplexed, says, wait a minute, I don't understand what you're saying, because if I'm only meditating 4 hours a day, it's going to take me 10 years, but you're saying if I double the amount of meditation time, that it's going to take me more time to transcend. Shouldn't it take time to be less? And the master replied, you are not here to sacrifice your joy or your life. You are here to experience, to live, and to love. If you could do your best in that 4-hour time slot, but you spend 8 hours trying to do it and trying to force it, you're going to grow tired, you're going to miss the point, and you're not going to enjoy life. So how many of you right now could think of a time where you were doing your best, but the judge was right up front telling you what you should do, how you should behave, and what you should be doing, and you were trying to force it? That you were doing your best and you were at a capacity to do your best, but then there's this judge, okay, I need to be a better mom, I need to be a better worker, I need to be a better person, then I need to do this and I need to do that, and and you end up over booking yourself, right? And you grow tired and you miss the point. So what ends up happening, you actually don't enjoy life. You actually are just rushing through it. When you do your best and you operate at the best you could possibly operate at, you live deep. You live wide. You live productive. You live clear, and you take action. Now, most people only will take action when there's a reward. But us, divorcing gracefully sisters and brothers here, we take action. First, let me step back. First, we create the life that we know is ours. We create and we let go of the past that has been sort of our catalyst for keeping us projected to the past, that we're learning how to let go of that. We're creating the life and the love of how we want to live. So we're doing that first, and then we take the action, and then we're waiting for it to manifest. We're not doing something, and then if we don't get the reward, we're going to have a temper tantrum. We're doing something because we feel it. We want to do it. We have intrinsic motivation and value, and we have patience to await for it to manifest. Rewards don't necessarily motivate. That it's the creating of life. It's living in love. It's receiving those results. That's what motivates us. And if you look around, the people of just general population, people you work with, people in the store, just day to day, if you go to the mall, if you just notice people, most people live life to escape. They're in jobs they hate, they're in relationships they hate, they're taking on too much, right? They're trying to be multiple things in multiple days at multiple times. They're rushing here to rush there. They're already late before they even started. They don't like themselves. They don't like the life that they're living. And they work all week in the grind and the grind and the grind, rushing, 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 forcing, forcing, forcing. And then the weekend comes and that's all they have. They have 2 days, right? The whole weekend, that's all they have is 2 days, and they let it all out. They're going out, they're drinking, maybe vaping, maybe smoking, right? They're letting it all out. It's kind of like after you had a big meal, you unpop your button just because your stomach just needs to rest. It's the same thing. But when you live life each day doing your best, it doesn't matter what day it is. You're not waiting all week just for the weekend, just for 2 days. You're actually living life full out every single day, 7 days of the week. You don't need the weekend. Every day is bliss for you. And when you live your life the best, there's no expected reward. You are intrinsically motivated because you know the work that you're doing, and you know the seeds that you're planting are going to come to fruition, and you're excited to see what that fruition is, because you know if you tried to plant it, you probably would never be able to plant it as good as the divine within you could create for you. You know the rewards will come, but you're not attached to it. And you're likely to get so much more than you expected, because now the divine within you is in control. You are not in control. You are not trying to force boundaries. You are not judging yourself. When you do the best for you, you're no longer people pleasing. You're not looking at others or looking outside of yourself for validation. And you're not taking things personally. When you change the focus of doing your best for you and for your family and for future generations to come, you're no longer living to please someone else or something else, or living outside of yourself. You are now living to please you and doing what makes you happy, because you are the conduit, guys. Really, you are the conduit. You are the main energetic being in your home. You are the matriarch or the patriarch of your family, and you are the source of energy and electricity for your family, even if they don't live with you. You've got to stand up and be energetic and do your best and live life full out and step up every day, loving and not expecting, but just knowing rewards will come, but not expecting and not becoming attached to it, because you are the beacon for these people. You are changing the trajectory of their lives. You are the one that listened to the call within. You are the one who knows, I need to do something different. You are the one who enrolled in this program. You are the one who are drawing a line in the sand and saying no more. And you're taking action. And you're taking action in faith. I don't know if you've seen Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Most of us, it's an older movie, but there's been several, I guess, redos of the movie. And one of the parts of the movie is there was a chalice. And Indiana Jones, his, I guess, goal was to go and obtain this chalice. And he makes it through all of the challenges. He makes it through all of these life-altering events that could have killed him, and being bruised and beaten. And he finally makes it. And he sees the chalice. And there's fire around him, and it's not easy for him to get to the chalice, but he looks and there's no walkway in front of him. He's on a cliff and he's looking down, and there's a pit of fire, and he sees the chalice ahead of him, and he remembers something that said, take the first step and the first step will appear. Something to that matter. I know I probably don't have it right, but basically believe in the first step and the first step will appear. So he has faith, and he puts his step out, and he takes the first step, and all of a sudden a step comes up out of nowhere. And then he takes another step, and another step comes out of nowhere. And then before you know it, he's taking step by step by step. The steps are appearing, and he's able to obtain the chalice. Right? He has faith that the divine is guiding him in the right direction and is going to provide the steps. The moment that you take your eyes off of that and you come back into your own right and your own being and your own strength is when you fall. Right? It's because you're just like, oh my God, you're back to yourself of what you could do, and then you end up falling. And also think of Forrest Gump. I love the movie Forrest Gump. Now, Forrest Gump didn't plan anything. Anything. This is a man with limited capability, limited mental status. But what he did is he just took the next step. He allowed what he felt that something was within him. He listened to it. He took the next step. And think about, this is how Bubba Shrimp Company was created. He ended up being a multi-millionaire or billionaire because he didn't get in his own way. We get in our own way. And the God within you is there to live through action, because the divine God within you is life, and the divine God within you is love. And true gratitude and true action and truly stepping into your life, maybe for the first time ever, because you're a woman or a man, right? But you're an adult, and you're adulting maybe for the first time because age is just a number. And truly allowing yourself the gratitude, right? And true gratitude is forgiving yourself and for others for the wrongdoing, and letting go of the past and living in the present moment right here and right now. Because that is the gift, the present moment. Now, I'm not saying that the past doesn't deserve justice and the people that wronged you doesn't deserve justice. They do. But what you don't deserve is that energetic connection still attached to you. You deserve to sever that, allow God to take over, to do the justice, allow him to be the judge of what needs to get done. You sever that energetic connection and you move into you and to what you deserve and how you deserve to live. Because if you live in a past dream, you don't get to enjoy what's happening now. Because you're always going to wish it were different than it was or than it is. I'm going to repeat that again because it's really important. If you live in a past dream, you don't enjoy what's happening now because you're always going to wish it to be different than it is. Living in the past is only living half alive. And when we live half alive, it leads to self-pity, suffering, and tears. And it moves us farther and farther away from who we truly are. And your divine birthright is to be happy. And where along the way of life did you start giving your power away? And if you could right now think about anything you want in life today, what would it be? Because you were born with the right to dream, to create. You were born with the right to love, to be loved, and to give love. Don't resist life passing through you, because that's how God expresses his existence in you and life and creates and moves you forward. If you resist life passing through you, the only thing you're going to do is keep yourself stuck in the same lesson you're supposed to learn over and over and over and over again. It's going to be like Groundhog Day. Nothing's going to change for you. If you are alive in this moment today, if you are here on this earth, you have a purpose. And we fool ourselves and we trap ourselves in this belief system that we have to know everything. We have to have everything figured out. We need to know closure. We need to know everything. We have to know the reasons why everybody does what they do or the reasons behind why things are happening. When in reality, when we come to the table and we empty our cup and we admit that we actually know nothing and that we really don't need to know anything, all of our answers are revealed. You don't need to judge yourself or pity yourself, and you don't need to prove anything. Your job is to take a risk. Your job is to step outside. Your job is to enjoy life and focus on your future self and focus on being here and now in the present moment, being mindful of what you have right now, like right now in this present moment. Feel the seat that you're sitting in. Smell the smells that you're smelling. Experience the feelings that you're feeling. You are the student who will become the initiate, who will then become a master of transformation. And you must honor the man or woman that you are. Your job is to respect yourself to the level that other people can respect you, because you will hold the bar. How you respect yourself is how you give permission for other people to respect you. And if you don't respect yourself, then you can't expect others to. It is your job to respect that your life is worthy, that you are worthy, that your emotional addictions are no longer as stronger than your will to survive in the right now and your future. And that you respect your body, you enjoy your body, you feed, you clean, you heal your body. And understanding that you are a great warrior. You're not here by chance. We are not together in this group. You are not connected to me by chance. You have an inner goddess and an inner warrior that has made it through. And what if the suck you've been through awoke the divine goddess within? What if everything you went through was preparing you for this moment, was preparing you to live the greatest version of yourself? Because the stars aren't the limit of what you can achieve. Your mindset is. The truth is, you are free. If you feel like you're living in the invisible prison and you have invisible bars, there's no one keeping you hostage. There is no one keeping you prisoner but yourself. There's no need to blame your ex, to blame your parents, the siblings, the government, the world, or anyone else who possibly has abused you in any way, physically, emotionally. Now, I'm not saying that work doesn't need to be done there and healing. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing it, but it is no longer needs to be the reason why you do or don't do something. You are not attached to that anymore. And it's time to stop the abuse, because at this point, the only person the abuser really is us. It's you. Now it's time to love yourself. And now it's time to free yourself from the tyranny of the judge. There's no more reason to suffer. And if we're suffering, then it's our invitation to ask ourselves, what is it about this particular person or this particular place or this particular reason, season? What is it about this that I'm allowing the suffering to happen, that I'm allowing it to perpetuate? Again, not from a judge, but from insight. This is where you get to stand, as you get to rebel against the past. You get to rebel against those emotional addictions, and you get to say, no more. No more with those emotional addictions of the past. Make it through my barrier. Because I know who I am. I am a woman of strength. I am a divine being. I live in no time. I get everything that I need to get done. I am healthy. I am happy. I am whole. Love finds me. The people I want to be around finds me. The job that I'm looking for finds me. That I am a magnet to the people, places, and things that I want. That I am loving, and I'm a loving being. I love myself. That's what you get to do now. You are no longer the victim. And you get to free yourself. And you get to do this by every single day being the best you could be, even if you don't feel like it. I'd rather you show up, do what you can to be the best you can. And if you're showing up hangry or cranky or whatever it may be, is actually not saying anything, doing the best you can, because you know that the words come out of your mouth do define your integrity, your character, your value, and you are not going to allow anybody else or anything else to compromise who you are. That was your past. And only words of love and affirmation and of grace come out of your mouth. Only words of healing. And when you fall off the wagon and you find yourself going the other way, then acknowledge it, find the insight in it, and bring yourself back. You have to be the person you want to be. You have to do the things that you know that person would be doing to achieve the goal that they want to achieve. And then you will have that goal. Be, do, have. So with that said, guys, that brings us to a close. That brings us to the close of the last training for the 4 agreements. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope there were insights, distinctions. I'm going to go in the Facebook group right now, and I'm going to post a place for you to grab or to post your distinctions from today's training call. So look out for it, post your distinctions, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.